So, Kai Asakura versus Alexandre Pantoja is up. Man, that was an entertaining experiment from the UFC. Now, obviously, I think it just kind of shows that the UFC wants to bring more stars into flyweight. And was Kai ready for a title shot? Nope. Did he have entertainment value when he fought? I believe so. I thought that he had a little bit of, what the kids call zest on him, where he was very just all over the place. He had a lot of speed when it came to getting out of the scrambles. And when he was in his realm of the kickboxing, he had some really good strikes in there that showcase that, okay, he's got a little bit to work with. Am I saying that is his career in the UFC going to be skating on some thin ice? Yeah, I think he's got to win now or else he's done. But I would like to see him win and take like maybe a Manel Cape trilogy fight in this one just to get his footing and then feel out the division a little bit more. Because that's like the thing, just an immediate title shot in the UFC was a bad idea. And I think I have a little more faith in the UFC flyweight division than a lot of other people right now because I've been very pessimistic. But personally, my wants have been turning around because it's not an Alexandre Pantoja being the dominant champ, problem because he is a dominant champ and he just doesn't say a whole lot. But like flyweight overall, if you look at the roster, doesn't have a whole lot of guys with personality. I'm just going to be real. But Kai had personality. Even if he lost the fight, he showed that he had some entertaining fighting styles. And there's this one part that I really had to think about, and really had me kind of smirking. In the second round before he got taken down and choked out, Alexander had his back and they were standing up. He gave a smile to the camera like, I got this, even though he didn't have this. So, you know what? He's got the character. He's got the marketability. He's actually fun to watch in a lot of ways. I actually was very entertained while watching him on. But the UFC shouldn't be giving people just these immediate title shots when they welcome in. If they're really desperate to bring that into a division, they don't want to rush it. Otherwise, they're doing themselves a disservice and the fighters they bring on. Obviously, Alexandre Pantoja called out Mighty Mouse. Which honestly, I wouldn't be too upset at that fight. But honestly, Mighty Mouse with his age, I don't know how he keeps up with that. But Mighty Mouse has already said, I left that division. And the thing about Mighty Mouse is he seems like a guy who has a whole lot of self-respect in this realm. And he says, you know what, the UFC already took me for granted once. I'm not going back. So it says something about Mighty Mouse's principles. And I'm kind of glad to see someone with self-respect, even though it's kind of at the flyweight division's expense just a little bit. Like I said, it's not hopeless, but you could tell that they really want to bring more people in. Now, Kai definitely versus Kai Kara France would be a good fight if they wanted to give Kai a little bit of a resurgence, because that fight could go either way. And if he beats Kai Kara France, he does have another shot at the title potentially, but I would actually like to see him start a little lower and get his footing. Probably Manel Cape first. And you know what? Also, after I get done with Kai and what I think he should do next, obviously Manel Cape, I do want to conclude by saying I do like the idea of what they were doing, but instead of giving people from other organizations title shots right off the bat, let other people from organizations who we haven't seen before in, because the UFC, when it kind of started out as to where it's going, it's been a little selective about who it's let in. You know what I'm talking about? There's some people who have never gotten their chance that really well deserved it. And you know this if you've ever spent actual time in real life, professional fighter spaces, the fighters that didn't quite make it because they either just didn't have the shot or they never got the contract handed to them, So for me, it is a little bit, it does say a lot about the business practices of the UFC. But if they really want to say flyweight or they really want to say welterweight or any of these other, like women's bantamweight, those are the three big ones that I see potentially have the marketing issues where they don't have to rely on Kayla Harrison or, someone like Colby Covington to keep all the marketability held up, right? Or even bringing back Mighty Mouse. They got to bring more people in from these other organizations. In fact, honestly, these Japanese fighters that we see, I kind of want to see more of them in the UFC, regardless of weight class, because they do bring a lot of entertainment value. And Kai Asakura was entertaining when he fought. I'm just saying that again. I was entertained when I saw it. But yeah, no, just no more immediate title shots, and I think we should be good. But is flyweight definitely finished? No, but I think they actually need to come at saving or enhancing flyweight, because I don't think it's on its last legs. You got, Brandon Royval, Brendan Moreno, Amir, I forgot how to pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try it. But basically, what you're going to have to look at is, let's not think that it's just done or cooked or anything like that, because obviously there's so many characters in there. But I think that they got to stop self-sabotaging flyweight, because I think a lot of the issues come from that when the UFC tries to intervene with it or force a salvation, that's when it's going to backfire, rather than allowing the floodgates for salvation to come and get into the rankings before they get into the title shots. If that analogy makes sense, but you catch my drift. I'm going to stop talking in circles. UFC 310 wasn't really that bad. I thought it was an entertaining card. Could have been, some quicker fights. A lot of those on the main card really did almost go the distance. But other than that, I was kind of pleased with what I saw. But I'll see you guys on the next round, and take care.